What is going on, everybody? Titan community, let me know. I need to see how freaking hype you guys are right now. I got the chat open. I need to see everybody losing their minds. So in this AMA, we got a lot of cool stuff we're going to be talking about today. So we're going to bring everybody on. So we got the one and only David and John. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's get into it.
Hey, Austin, how you doing, man?
Doing wonderful, doing wonderful.
I think we were both being polite, David. I think I was waiting for you to jump in with your.
It's like this awkward pause. Like,
I know, right? Yeah, man. I think that is the case. Happy to be here as always, in front of everybody and the Titan community, and this amazing project that we're all a part of, and this grand experiment about being together and working together and doing things together, creating together and learning together, right? And of course, gaining together. It's just been an amazing ride. And one of the things that stands out to me is just the people. And it's always about the people. And I'm going to say this throughout, but I get so many messages, and it's just such an energizing thing to hear the enthusiasm and go through the ideas and suggestions and criticisms and comments and all of those things. It's just amazing, Austin. It's more than I ever thought, and it's more than I could hope for. But I'm humbled by all of it. I just wanted to start off by saying that. John, what do you got to say, man?
That's pretty good. I mean, that's a very nice start. Absolutely, what a community! And looking at the the last few days, and looking at the rally, and just watching people here now, in the chat, it's fantastic. It's fantastic, and this is really momentous occasion. I mean, we've waited so long for this, and we knew it was coming, but we're so excited. I mean, the team is so incredibly excited. We were looking at the staff chat, and all the moderators are saying they couldn't sleep for the last few weeks, and I think that's been the same for all of us, because it's been a long time coming, but that has been very fruitful, because the difference between what would have been launched a couple of months ago, when we could have done the migration following Certic, that, and now the things they have planned now, oh my goodness, it's another level. It really is the evolution of Titano.
Well said. Austin, what about you? How you feeling?
Man, it's crazy. Like, I was telling a lot of people, in a couple different little Titano and chill sessions that we had this week leading up to this migration. And, I was telling people, like, if you wanted to get in at the ground floor of something like Pancake Swap, I mean, this is kind of it, right? Like, I mean, we're getting into something where we're showing people, we're not just promising, but we're showing people what creating a true ecosystem kind of looks like. And, I myself am just really, really excited to see this go to fruition, and, just start to create revenue for this project other than just, the taxes, right? So I'm really, really excited for it.
Great, man. Great. Well said, as always. Hey, man, one more thing I want to add about Austin. We really are just very fortunate to have you, man. I mean, you are, like, you guys see what he's doing but what he's doing in the back is like an iceberg. You know what I mean? You're seeing the tip, and we're experiencing everything that's going on. I mean, he is just a tornado, and it's just been amazing to work with you, man. I mean, we are engaged on the Titano Academy, right, which is the education component, and you've taken a leading role, and I can't even keep up with you, man. I mean, we come up with these ideas, and you're like, I got it. Like, hang on, what you got? What? I don't even. It's done. It's done already, and it's done, and it's fantastic. And I just want to thank you for that, and commend you for the enthusiasm that you have around this project. It really, really is appreciated.
Yeah, let me second that. Before you came online, David, we were just talking about this, and he is a natural. Austin, you're such a natural. I mean, if anyone was made to do this, you're made to do it. Some of us don't have the face for TV, you see. So, but you, my friend, you've got the full package there.
Bro, I grew it myself. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh man. Yeah, so it's love. It's love, love, love. Well, these are exciting times, gentlemen. These are exciting times. The migration to the new token is finally here, and it's what we've all been waiting for and hoping for. And there are a lot of benefits that come along with it. It's been certainly been a long time coming, but as John said earlier, it's been time well spent. We've been saying that Titano was not, even though the CERTIC audit was delayed substantially, we've been telling everyone that that wasn't time wasted, that in the background, Titano's been working and working and working. And sure enough, this is a great example of one of the things that we've been working on, right? We've been working on doing things like making sure that we pay attention to what's happening with the project and then develop things around what we're seeing, all this data that's being collected, all the interactions, listening to the community. What's more important to you all, right? So, and of course, you know, we all saw what was happening with Pancake Swap, and all of a sudden these huge dumps are coming out of nowhere. And immediately it was flagged as a major issue. I want to be careful. This is not an anti-Pancake Swap conversation, right? Pancake Swap is a business, and they have a great business. You know, as we wrote in the description of the DEX that we were talking about, it's a fork of Pancake Swap. They created a fantastic product. Of course, we all know it was based on Uniswap, but they created a fantastic product, and they've got a business model. But sometimes what you find is someone's business model just doesn't coincide with yours. And that's what happened here, right? We know moving into DeFi 2.0, we need to focus on the two things that DeFi 1.0 didn't focus on, right? That's decentralization, which we've done with the token. I talk about it all the time, and that is that, you know, our treasury is in the token holders' wallets, right? That's why we have the amount in the treasury that we do. If we were an Olympus DAO fork, we'd have more than $175 million in our treasury, right? All of that money is distributed to the Titan wallet holders. So that was the one thing. And the second thing is liquidity, right? Liquidity, as we're seeing, it's a hot potato. You know, it's whoever has it controls the game. And that's in many ways. And in a lot of cases, you know, the liquidity or control of it or lack thereof it limits your growth. And so, again, this is not an anti-pancake swap. They've been great, but it's time for us to take control of specific areas of Titano so that we can manage our own growth and decide our own future.
Yeah, very
John,
well said.
anything you want to say?
Yeah, I completely agree, and I think the time, as you said, was very well spent. That's the core thing that comes out of this. You know, we are a developer project, so when opportunities are presented, and they are opportunities, when you have an auditing company such as CERTIC, they're so thorough that they go through everything, and not everyone manages to secure those CERTIC audits or successfully progress to the end of them. And there's a reason. It's because they're so thorough. They take your business almost like a consultancy. They take your business to pieces and they say, well, this is where you can improve. And you can either just fix those things, or you can really improve on what you've created. And that's what they did here. So they could have just fixed things and made it safe, secure, right. That's the obvious step. Or you can say, well, there's an opportunity here. Let's take a little time. Let's build out what we're doing. And also during this period, remember, this project was small a few months ago, and now we have 81,000 holders. So you can then start looking at bigger options. You can say, well, now we have a DEX option, which makes sense. It wouldn't make sense if you have 2,000 holders or 5,000 holders. But now with such volume traveling through Titano, well, why don't we reclaim that and then give it back to the community? It's a ambitious thing to do, but it makes sense when you have these numbers, when you have this thriving community, and off the back of that, you can then add on all these other things. And like I said, working with CERTIC, realizing where those vulnerabilities were or those concerns were, well, let's build off that. Let's make it much more than just a fix. Let's create the ecosystem around that and add to it. So this is like you say, time well spent. And
Right.
the next bit, right? The next step, which allows us now to open so many doors. And that's what I'm
Mm,
going to do.
right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well said. Well said. Austin.
Yes.
Hey, man.
Are we
All
ready? Are
right.
we
Well,
ready to get into some questions for these Titans?
absolutely. Bring them on. John, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's make them sweat, guys. All right, no, but for real, I did get a giant list of questions already from Julius, and I want to make sure everybody that's watching right now, we have 1,040 people. If you get value from these questions, make sure you hit that like so this live stream can get distributed amongst the YouTube algorithm to everybody that knows or even wants to hear about Titano, so that way YouTube can promote this. So I got a list of questions here, along with, if you guys were not aware, I hosted a Titano stage within the Discord. So I got questions written down from you guys. And of course, drop chats. We got some of the moderators from the Discord and Titano community, or the Telegram community, on the actual YouTube live stream as well. So they can copy and paste some questions and send them to me as well. So the first one that I have here is, how can I see the new Titano? Because right now I'm currently not seeing it. So how can I just go and see the tokens be added to my wallet?
John, you want to take that? You want me to take it?
Sure. So at the moment, guys, we're in the middle of migration. So what happens is the new tokens are being placed into your wallet. So if you don't see them yet, it's simply because they haven't been placed into your wallet yet. But this is
Right.
we have to do it one at a time. There are multiple transactions happening all the time, every second. But there's a constraint on the speed of it. So that's not down to us. That's down to the blockchain. That's down to the amount of traffic. But rest assured, it will show up in your wallet as soon as it's all been done, as soon as it's all been placed. You just have to make sure that your wallet has, you've added the new token address into your wallet. And you can find that token address in the socials or on the website, I believe.
Absolutely. And if you want to, real quick, everybody watching, just to make sure what John was saying, okay, just to show you guys. So I'm going to go to the announcements. Okay, so I'm simulating just like I don't know what in the world's going on. Okay, so all you got to do is go to that contract address only on the announcements of Discord. Okay, nowhere else. Do not take any contract from DMs. Don't do anything like that. Okay, so all you got to do, I'm going to share my screen right now so that way you guys can see. So all you got to do, we just got a little tab open here. Go to your MetaMask, okay? So you see how I have the old Titano token on here. All you got to do is go paste that address that was sent from the announcements page, click add custom token, and this will be the new token that you now have on your wallet. So make sure you guys go do that so you can keep an eye out for when that's distributed on your wallet.
And I know it's been said in the multiple times in all our socials, but it's really important to realize you don't have to do anything. In fact, please don't do anything. Take some time off, watch this AMA, relax. Everything will be done for you. And all you have to do at the end is add that Titano address, as Austin just showed you. There's no one is going to contact you. That would be a scam if they did. No one's going to tell you to join this page or connect this or do that. Just relax. It'll be dropped into your wallet. You can add the address today, tomorrow, whenever. It will be in your wallet on the blockchain. So you'll be getting rebases. Don't worry.
Yes.
You don't have to add that address right now or today. There's no rush.
Right. Yeah, I wanted to add that too as well, John, that the tokens will rebase automatically. There's nothing that you have to do in order to make that happen. And even if you don't add the token address now, as John's saying, those tokens will be sitting in your wallet rebasing. So no concerns there. And again, I just want to reiterate, no one's going to contact you. No, you'll get no private messages. Go to this website and do anything like that is a scam. You don't have to do anything related to receiving your tokens. And putting in the token address does not start your tokens or activate them. It's just allowing you to see them in your wallet. So Titano is doing all of the work.
Correct. Yes, that's right.
Got you. So the next question here is, in order to see the new Titano token, just to reiterate once again, just do exactly what I said. Now, the next question is, I'm trying to buy/sell my new Titano tokens, but the DEX is not working. It shows an error. What do I do?
Do you mean at this very moment, or if they go through that and run into that issue?
They're talking about this very moment. So some people were like,
Okay.
right now, as this one's going through, am I still able to use like Pancake Swap, bard, whatever? It's showing an error. Like, what is that actually working right now?
Okay, so the existing the old Titano tokens, let's call them V1, you shouldn't be doing anything with those tokens now, and you shouldn't be able to do anything with them on PancakeSwap or anywhere else through any of the aggregators. So those are paused to all intents and purposes, and just like we said, just forget about it. Just just leave it be. What will happen next is there will be so once we've stopped those buys and sells, which we've done already, we're doing the migrating, and then we will push the landing page, the dashboard, and the DEX for the new DEX, and then we'll be turning on buys and sells and transfers for Titano V2. So just be a little bit patient. Everything will be back on in hopefully a couple of hours from now.
Gotcha. And then we got a really good question here that one of the mods picked up from the chat. Said, what is it about Switch and which is the DEX we're talking about within Titano? What is about Switch that's going to make people want to use it ahead of other DEXs? What will make the project want to use it?
Are you referring to Titans or people outside of Titanium? So people wanting to come in. Switch will be a full service DEX. It'll have all the features that you see on your favorite DEXs, full feature DEXs that are. There's some that only allow you to swap tokens. The agenda with this DEX is to have everything that PancakeSwap has, and there may even be some additional features. So what will bring people to the DEX? Well, people will come because of the features that I mentioned, but also the goal of this DEX is to be one of the foundational pieces of an ecosystem. So people will utilize this DEX because it'll be advantageous for them to get involved in this entire Titano ecosystem. And again, the DEX will be one foundational piece of that. So as we start building these other pieces, some of which we'll talk a little bit about today, I'm sure there'll be questions about them, you'll begin to start seeing how we piece it all together into one coherent economy or ecosystem. And the DEX plays a critical role in that, right? Of course, Austin, one more thing that's over and above all the other things that we've talked about in terms of, the deflationary aspects, because some of the fees will be burned, and then revenue that this generates for Titano. But for users, it'll be a core part of our ecosystem and of our economy.
Yeah, and that's like so crucial that I was trying to tell a lot of people is like creating this revenue stream additional for Titano. I mean, that's awesome, right? That's awesome to really see for the project. We got another question here in the chat. I've seen it there. They said, ask if the DEX will have a bridge or not. So I remember a few people back in one of the Titano and Chill sessions we were having in the Discord. A lot of people were kind of asking about the cross-chain capabilities of the DEX. And I remember Summit was kind of talking about how, this isn't going to be like happening right after launch, but is there going to be goals in the future with an in-house bridge for this?
John, you want to take that question, or you want me to take it?
No, it's fine. So absolutely, you'd have to put that in the future. This is not something that's going to come straight after. But if the question is, will it come? Well, is it on the roadmap? Then yes, absolutely. We're thinking about all these things, and it would be part of a full service.
Right.
Gotcha. Thank you. And this was another question that was asked during the stage event that I had right before this. And I've also had the mods just shoot it to me. So I'm pretty sure there's a lot of demand for this question. And the question was, so the liquidity is locked, but how was the team able to move from V1 to V2 with this liquidity being locked?
So when we launch this one, we're going to actually take liquidity by using the RFV for now. So what we'll do is we'll take enough from the RFV to make the liquidity for this V2. And the reason we're doing that is to not touch the old one, because when you're watching the chart, sometimes people will flag things as being, well, a rug, because it looks like the liquidity is suddenly gone. So on that token, we don't want to do that. We want everyone to see that, we don't want to create that FUD, essentially. So what we're doing here is taking liquidity from the RFV for now, and then later we'll transition the old liquidity across and replace the RFP value.
Got you. Okay, cool. They said, so we got another question from the mods that got from you guys. Thank you guys for asking these questions for sure. They said, what
Great
aggregates?
questions, by the way. Sorry, Austin.
Oh, absolutely. I
Good
totally
questions.
agree. They said, what aggregates will be partnered with Switch? So like a lot of people are just really asking, what are these partnerships that Switch is going to offer? And can you like give any insight on what specific partnerships there are, or what type of projects will be partnered with this project? Can we kind of go over that?
Yeah. Yes is the answer to that question. What I will say about it is I've talked at length about the importance of partnerships with a project like Titano. It is impossible for Titano to build out the amount, the quantity and the quality of the use cases needed in order to create sustainability for the project. So partnerships are crucial. Now, even it's a challenge to build. It's a separate or a different type of challenge to partner, because you have to make sure that whoever you partner with, and again, I want to clarify what I mean by saying partnerships, right? Because in crypto, often, someone will put CoinMarketCap on their website and call it a partnership just because CoinMarketCap is listing their token. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about partnerships where two organizations work together for the mutual benefit of each other, closely held relationships. Value is given to both sides, and that value is clear. So these are the types of partnerships, and they require quite a bit of work, particularly with a project like Titano, because we're growing so fast and in an industry that's changing so quickly. So we've been pursuing partnerships that fit under three banners. The first one is DeFi projects, right? We've been looking around, and we've been approached a lot by companies in the DeFi space saying we have complementary or supplementary services that can help Titano grow. And you have assets that can help us grow. We want to create a partnership with you. The second type of partnership we're looking at is partnerships in crypto, right? I get a lot of messages where people are saying, hey, you guys are building you're talking about building a mobile app that has a Titano to fiat swap in it. Maybe you want to look at this company that has something already like that, so you guys don't have to build it. And we pursue those conversations. The third type of a partnership is a partnership completely outside of crypto. This is based on, I've said it several times, as we grow our community, we become a force that can then bring value to any type of organization, any type of a company. I like to use Tesla because Tesla is always a hot button. But if we had 5,000 Titans who wanted to buy a Model S and we walked into Tesla, we've all of a sudden got power, right? So what's available to us is an opportunity to go outside of the crypto industry. Now that's important as well, because I also talk about, right now, if you look at what's happening to the crypto market, virtually every crypto project is dependent on the fortune of Bitcoin. Doesn't matter, you're doing great, Bitcoin ain't doing great, your token price is going down, right? So how do we get out of that? Well, how we get out of that, one way or one part of the story, is to make your token valuable to people in their regular lives. We live two different lives, right? We have a regular life, and then we have a crypto life. And it's amazing how we adjust to those two lives, Austin. It's funny, I don't realize it until I try to bring someone into crypto and try to explain to them what's going on. Then you have to do this, you have to go here and go to Binance and do MetaMask and blah, 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 blah. And I look at them and there's this glazed look on their eyes, and I realize that I sound like a crazy person, right? Because I'm doing this without even thinking about it. Over here, you got to go to a DEX. Oh, you don't know what a DEX is, do you? Well, then you have to do this. You got to have liquidity. And wait a minute, you got to use this token. So what happens is that people have sectioned off crypto from their regular lives. If we can move crypto into their regular lives, it becomes valuable to them outside of whatever Bitcoin is doing. Part of that also is education. So these are 3 different types of partnerships, and each of them requires a different approach. Each of them requires a different set of elements and conditions that we need to make sure of in order for us to pursue them. So what is happening, and I realize I'm giving you a long-winded answer, but it's important. So what's happening, we're going down all 3 of those roads. And I'm happy to report that all 3 of those roads are bearing fruit. Within
That's
the
awesome.
next 30 days, you will see each one of those areas. You'll see a significant partnership in each one of those areas.
Nice.
So I
Okay.
can't say exactly right now because it's delicate, and I don't want to say too much and then have the other side go, see that? Now that they've announced it, they've got to make this work. I don't want to put us in that position, but what I can say is we're far enough along where I am certain that it's going to bear fruit. And what it'll do is it will automatically show you what we're talking about when we say we're going to build an economy.
Yeah.
We won't have to explain it at all. You'll see it and you'll automatically go, oh, now I see what they're doing. Now I get it. And it's all possible. And the great thing about it is when we started these AMAs talking about this thing, we were getting, projects that were launching, really small projects. But now the quality and the size of the projects are just increasing. So it's really exciting to see. It's a lot of work. We have to be really, really careful because whenever I go into a discussion, I always look at Titano as the known quantity. We know what we have. And I'm trying to, in those discussions, to match us up with other known quantities. And also, there's the human element, right? We have to be really, really careful about who we engage with because, a lot of these organizations, like I say, people go, hey, why don't you do something with that company or do something with that project? And every time I go to a website, all I think of it is a website. It's a website. And so we got to make sure that, ethics and morals and agendas align and not conflict with where we're going or where they're trying to go and timelines align. So it's complicated, but we are making amazing progress. And like I said, within the next 30 days, you'll see exactly what we're talking about. Not just partnerships, but the power of partnerships for Titano, for the other company, and how when it's done properly, the combination of the 2 projects or more projects coming together creates something individually you could never do. You just could never do it. So anyway, I talk about it a lot because I'm excited about it. A lot of great stuff going on.
No, that's
Give
a
us 30
great. That's great. So I've seen a lot of people as you were talking, they were like, "When is it?" So what can you disclose? So right there, that's your answer is 30 days. 30 days. Chill out for 30 days. Be patient, and we'll see like you said, the fruits of these partnerships. So we got another question here by Yasner. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, but they said, "Where will the DEX fees go?" And we've seen a couple other people, but this was the first one I've seen as far as like where will these DEX fees go?
John,
Okay, so
I'm sure they've heard me talking enough. Please take that one.
no, I love the sound of your voice. I could listen to it all day.
Oh, me too, man. I mean you. I don't mean me. I mean yours.
Got you. I will add just one thing to what you said there, David. Absolutely right on the partnerships and collaborations. It's so incredibly exciting, and I know some people. I'm sure this question will come up later, but people were asking about on ramping. And yes, that's definitely still on the cards, and
Yes.
something that the devs have already got in place actually with who we're doing that with. But moving beyond that, what if we could be in a system where we don't even need to leave and come back to fiat? That's the actual goal, right? To be able to buy products in the real world without having to go back to fiat, and that is what we are looking at, people. So beyond that,
hang on a second. Hold on a second. You just dropped like a nuclear bomb, and then you just move right along. I just wanted to let him know that we all realize that. Keep going.
Yeah, sometimes I just want it off the cuff.
Right.
The other thing I was going to say is we're going to be with Titano.Finance, as an aggregator initially, and then we're going to add the others as well. So that was in terms of the previous question. When it comes to DEX fees, they total 0.25% or 0.25%. Of which 0.17 or 0.17% will go to the liquidity provider, and then 0.08, so that makes up 0.25, 0.08 will go to the treasury. And with the 0.17, we'll work out rewards related to further protocols on the ecosystem. So, yes. And on top of that, we just wanted to say as well, the token, the V2 token, in case you were asking or wondering, it'll be added to CMC and CG very soon, CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko very soon. Those requests go live once everything's up and running. So don't be afraid of that. We can see you, and we are on it.
And I seen a couple people. I was trying to, as you were trying to answer, or as you were answering that, I was trying to find the question. But man, you guys are blowing up the chat right now. So a lot of people were asking when this DEX is starting to come about and function. Is there an auto tax feature like how we do with BOG, or will you have to do it manually?
I believe the auto tax it won't be in at the start, but it will be coming later. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a couple of days. I think was the timeline. A couple of days. It will definitely be there, but it will be a couple of days.
Yes, that's right.
Got you. And then we got another question here: is when will Titano Play be released?
That's a good question. Titano Play will be the first use case after the DEX. So I think the idea is to give the DEX a day or two, and then we play.
I believe so.
And then, so if we can establish a timeline here, I'm glad you said that, David, as far as like after the DEX. So the first step is getting the DEX, and then the next step is getting the Titano Play. And then after Titano Play, will that be the lottery, or what else, what will be coming after the play?
The lottery follows Titano Play. Yes.
Got you.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And we, again, we're trying to sort of leave a day or two, or maybe even a little bit more, depending on what happens. With Titano Play, by the way, as we've mentioned, there are some changes to Titano Play based on a lot of the comments and feedback we were getting from the community. And now it was such a large community. And if I could speak on that for a moment, it might be a question that comes up. What we've attempted to do is to sort of move these two projects in two different directions. Titano Play, in terms of how I look at it, it's almost like a reward to the Titano holders, right? You enter this, it's almost like a raffle type of a system where you can't lose your tokens. And if you stay in the system, you can get rewarded an amount of Titano, right? That gets contrasted with the lottery, where you buy lottery tickets into the Titano lottery and you can win life-changing money. So the idea with Titano Play moved more towards how do we get more people to participate in the winnings. So from that, we've moved from 10, I don't know the final number, John, perhaps you do, but I know there are at least 20 winners in each.
That's right.
20 winners in each round of Titano Play.
Is it 20 or 25?
25 actually. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry.
thought that was 20. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Austin. You said that like, hey man, I might be winner number 22. Don't rule me out, man.
I gotta make sure my odds are good, man.
Yeah, I'm 25.
Austin was about to stick a few more Titano in there.
I was about to have to
wait a minute.
Hang on. All right.
Yeah. So the idea is let's give everyone a chance to win. Let's have everyone win Titano Play. That would be amazing. So the difference between these two is now more pronounced and it's more distinct. And also you can feel comfortable participating in both of them, right? You participate in Titano Play because you're going to get, this amount of tokens. You participate in the lottery because, Austin, that Lambo, custom colors, custom interior.
Well, see, there's a funny
about,
thing.
Baby.
There's a funny trend going around, but just because we were talking about the whole lottery and the gambling world in general, and everybody was like, someone even said, "I knew it. Austin was a gambler." Guys, I am not a gambler by any means. I promise. I promise. Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah. So Titano Play is coming, and then the lottery's coming after that.
Got you.
Yeah, and I think the other big difference is that the lottery really is for anyone and everyone from it's an open call, an open door to people invested in other projects. It's just to the crypto community in general. Anyone can play, anyone can. I shouldn't use the word play because we have play, but anyone can buy lottery tickets, and the Titano lottery will have those rollovers and those incredible jackpots. So you could be just someone that has just entered crypto and buys a ticket and wins, the Willy Wonka situation, right? So yeah, it's as long as you enter, there's a chance you can play and win.
Yeah, there you go. Love it, love it. And by the way, both projects are deflationary, and both projects have a positive pressure impact on Titano. So as you're participating, you're also adding to that, adding to those types of use cases that then supports the sustainability of the project long term.
Yeah, and I noticed, a couple of people, and I know originally we said that we would launch with play, but give us a day or two. What we're trying to do, as David said, is just stagger things a little bit so that people can start using the DEX, then start using play, and then
Right.
start using the lottery. And what we'd love to do is to get that feedback and so that people can talk. And when people talk, we have 81,000 people talking. That spreads like wildfire, and that's what we want, right? So we have a day with the DEX, enjoy it, see what's going on, see what it does for us, and then play. Then that's the next day. It's not a big wait. We just want to stagger things a bit so we can market it, so we can put articles out, so we can do these things the right way.
Gotcha.
Well said.
Let's see here. So we got another question by the Passive D Life Express. They said, any utility on the DEX for Titano time lockup, staking, LPs, etc.
Any utility on the DEX for Titano lockups? Oh, right. Okay. Yes. This is when you were talking about DEX and what will we be doing on the DEX? Will it just be swapping? No, that's not what it is, right? That's, as David mentioned, there's going to be a whole host of other things that follow, including things like staking pools, liquidity pools. And don't forget, what our aim is to build, as David said, within 30 days, we're going to try and put some of these on the table for you guys to see, but we're trying to build these partnerships. And well, these partnerships are most likely you're going to be able to use these staking rewards, these liquidity pools with partners. It won't just be our project that's on there. So yes, this is something to look forward to. Keep an eye on it, because it's probably the most exciting part. Once we start involving partners and getting them involved in our ecosystem, then this is when you can see these liquidity pools and staking pools come to life.
Excellent.
Got you. And we have a really good question here that I was actually kind of wondering as well, right? And this was by Cbart. Cbart says, will there be an outside party to oversee the lottery, or just how is this lottery going to be overseen to make sure it's as fair as possible?
Let me. I actually have the answer to this, but give me. Can we just go to the next question and come back? Because I actually have the answer written down, but I have to find it now. But it's very important that it's fair. And yes, let me come back to you in a second.
Gotcha. So I got a question from one of the mods, from one of you guys that just took it from the chat. They said, what trading pairs are planned?
That's a good question. I don't personally have that answer yet. I know it's a discussion that's going on right now with the devs. What will happen, Austin, is information will be released in waves. As John mentioned regarding the DEX, the first thing is, let's put this amazingly powerful and new product into the marketplace. Let's announce that it's here. Let's make sure that it's safe and secure, and that that everyone's comfortable with using it. And then we're going to add all sorts of additional features. It's the other element of it is how those features come in and what they are connected to other things that we're doing.
Yeah.
So when I talk about partnerships as an example, and John was talking about adding some of those partners to the DEX, that will end up determining in some cases what tokens end up on the DEX, what pair we're working with. So again, it's under consideration, and that information will be released as it becomes more relevant.
Yeah. So at the beginning, the focus is on Titano. Let's be selfish for a second. This is for Titano. This is for the Titano community. So the focus is on Titano right at the start. So what we want to do is have Titano and the BNB pair. That's the most important pair. That's
Right.
there from day one, and then
Mhm.
we will look at adding the others later. And as David said, we're going to develop those partnerships, and those are our next priority, to bring people on board, let them feel a part of this. You can still trade all your tokens using PancakeSwap, Bogged, etc. All the other tokens that you have. But for now, come and trade your Titano here. That's what we made it for.
Right. Right.
Got you. So another question from the mods that got from the live chat, and that was V1 had a vesting wallet that was burned from. Will this be the same in V2?
V1 had a say again?
Vesting wallet. He said V1 had a vesting wallet that was burned from. Will this be the same in V2?
Yeah.
Let me check that for you guys. Let me just check with the dev for that. I don't have the answer for that.
Got you. And then real quick, someone they were asking why the RFV dropped, and then we just to let you guys know we got that answered earlier that it is being used for liquidity.
Right. Thank you, Austin.
Absolutely. So now I'm going to go open my notes here because these are the questions that you guys asked from the stage. We were trying to kind of just go back and forth so that way make sure we get as many questions answered for you all as possible, because I want you all to have as much value from this as possible. I don't want this to be there we go with my camera again. Let's see. Will it be only okay? So for the DEX that's getting launched today, will it be the only place to transact Titano tokens, like buy and sell them, or can people also still use PancakeSwap and Bogged?
Well, you'd be using Bogged, but it would be going through our DEX, yes. But you wouldn't be using PancakeSwap anymore.
Got you. Okay, cool.
I think a lot of people don't understand that when you're using Bog, you're using PancakeSwap. Boggs is a DEX aggregator, so it's just a front end, a different front end, and so that'll be the same situation if you use Bog. But as John's saying, you won't be using PancakeSwap anymore. You'll be using Switch, and again, all the benefits would now come to the Titano ecosystem.
Got you. And then there was just one simple question that they asked, and it was like, when's the website? So after this migration, when will the actual website be updated where we can see the DEX, Titano Play, just all these different features that we're talking about?
I don't have an exact time for that, but I know it'll be fast. In addition to that, because a lot of people have asked me as well, are we updating the website? The answer is yes. That's been something that we've been working on in the background. So I'm assuming that all of that will happen quickly. But in terms of the actual being able to access the DEX through the website, that will happen immediately. Is that correct, John?
Yeah, straight after. So
Right.
you'll be able to use it straight after we migrate. And by the way, the list for migration is almost ready. I've been told. So following that,
Nice.
it will be a distribution.
All right. All right.
Just going back to the question earlier about the V1 vesting wallet, we won't have that for V2, so that won't exist anymore. And all those tokens in that wallet will not be migrated, so they'll be out of circulation. Those vested tokens. The new V2 will burn from the circulating supply.
Right.
Got you. So the next question we have here is, and this was a very prominent question I seen in the live chats. I think one of the mods shot this to me, and I also got this from the Titano stage. So I'm sure this is a burning question for a lot of people watching right now. And that is, what is the marketing strategy moving forward after all these things are implemented and stabilized, and the hype kind of as far as like all this stuff happens? What is the marketing strategy moving forward?
John, do you want me to take that question, or you? It seems like something we'll probably both comment on.
Yeah, I think we're both going to talk about this. Regarding the, sorry, I'm going to take you back for a second. Regarding the lottery, it's the PancakeSwap lottery. It's a direct fork from theirs. We made very slight changes to the prizes, but it's their direct fork. So that's fully
Okay.
audited, of course. Yeah.
Fully
Nice.
audited by CERTIC. Great. Okay, so let's talk about marketing. Austin, I've had this conversation a lot. And a lot of people, especially in DeFi, are used to seeing blanket marketing everywhere all the time, all the time. We've had to be extraordinarily careful about how this project is marketed because, especially, being here these 4 months, we've had to battle against the conversation that Titano's not a real project, right? We just had to battle against that and battle against that. And there
Right.
is a direct correlation between people seeing something plastered everywhere and then feeling as if the project isn't a project. And to a certain extent, it does kind of make sense because you don't typically see real projects plastered everywhere. So we've had to be cautious about how and when we market it. And John's taken the lead in this area. He's done a spectacular job. And his strategy is always you market with news. You market around news. You have something to say, and then you let people know what that is. And people get excited because they then get used to, oh, they got something to say. They're not just PooCoin or DEX tools or over here, over there is a banner or something. They actually have something to say that I want to be in, that I might be interested in. So now let me check them out.
Yeah.
So this has been our marketing strategy, continues to be the marketing strategy. How do we know it's working? Well, we know it's working because the quality of the investor, right? Remember, one of the things that caused the price to fall, and this is my opinion, it's not Titano per se, but it's my opinion, is we started growing so quickly and we were adding so many wallet holders because word was getting out. You better jump into Titano. You better jump into Titano. That we got all these new uneducated investors who weren't really interested in learning anything about the project. We've got a great community. When people come in, they ask questions, the questions are answered thoroughly. We got all this information, all this data where, and what's the typical refrain? Go and listen to an AMA, go and read the documents, go and do this, go and do that. But we were getting so many new wallet holders and so many investors, and so many investors who were only there because they were FOMOing in, that when the bot attack happened, all of these investors weren't educated on Titano. And so they fell victim to the bot attack, right? And because they were all, what's the best word to use? They weren't necessarily tied to the project. They were tied to a short-term outcome, a short-term win. The moment they saw a free airdrop, they all ran toward it. And it created this, this situation where now we were trying to manage all of these new investors. And then, of course, the scammers took all of this Titano and then they dumped it, which, started the price to fall. And then we had Pancake Swap. And then all these other new investors are going, oh, my God, this place is on fire. Let's get out of here. The reason that happened is because we weren't able to manage the process of bringing people on board. Now, we're not going to be able to control that totally, but we've been fortunate. And a lot of it has to do with how we're marketing. A lot of it has to do the quality of the investors. The reason all of us Titans love the mood and the tone in the chat is because of the type of marketing that we've done. So we've got to be cautious around how we market, because if we upset the balance, then the project's going to turn into a different project. Now, with that being said, we obviously have a lot of news now, and there is marketing going on. So, John, I just wanted to kind of lay that out as a bit of a foundation. And also, I'd like for you to speak to it as well. But I always say to people, listen, it's not just about being seen everywhere. We have to be careful, right, that we don't come off as, the next Shiba Inu, Doge, Putin token. You know what I mean? We can't be that guy. So anyway, I just wanted to hand it over to you.
Thank you, David, and I thank you so much for that. It's exactly right. We have to be so careful in this space because, as you say, you don't want to attract the wrong type of buyer. And as strange as that sounds, when you go into the Titano socials and every day, I love our moderators because they have incredible patience, and there's honestly we have such an amazing team.
Amazing.
Amazing team of they're so patient, they're so well versed, they know DeFi, not just our project, but they know DeFi. And I cannot tell you the number of times I go into the Telegram chat or I look at Discord and someone says, "Hey, I can't sell. Why can't I sell?" Yeah, and they get really upset. And so someone says, "Well, why can't you sell? I stop flooding." And then this whole conversation comes out, and then it turns out that this person's bought into Titano, and they can't sell because they haven't put the right amount of slippage. And then when they find out, they go, "But why is the tax so high?" And it's frustrating because I'm not angry at them, but it's frustrating because it feels to us like we haven't done our job, right, David? We are trying our best to say, look, there's 13% in, 18% out, there's slippage on top, we don't take anything from that conversation has to be done, well, 81,000 times at least, right? At least. So we've done that so many times, but so many people are coming in, they're not quite understanding that. And so, as David said, we have to be careful to get the right buyer on. We want them to come in and realize that the taxes are there for a reason. They're there to convince you and to remind you that once you buy in, actually, hopefully, in the long term, you don't want to leave. As the people say in the groups, don't kill the golden goose, and it's so true. It's
Right.
come in, stay, and then you're going to see what develops, and you're going to see that maybe, as I said earlier, you don't have to ever go back to fiat. You don't have to ever leave the ecosystem. You can take little bits out, you can get your initial back, and then you can watch it grow. You can just watch this amazing thing grow. So, to your question about marketing, yes, we are going to up the ante. We are upping the marketing, and we have been doing it already. We have been very, very, very selective about the people that we work with. We try not to just pay for pump and dump marketers. We try and establish a relationship with the influencers. People. Jesse Eckel, for example, we established a relationship with him and many others. That's what we're trying to develop. We've got over 400, nearly 500 YouTube videos about Titano.Finance. There is no shortage of people that want to talk about this project because it is so outstanding and this community is so unique. But what we want to do is develop good relationships so that we can have that to and fro, so they can go on the journey with us, so that they can see that this is not a short-term thing. I don't want to have a conversation with an influencer tomorrow and he says, well, where's the price going to go, right? And then he tells his people, hey, buy now because the price is going to go up 25%. Because then if he says that to his followers buy now, and when it goes up 25%, they try and sell, and they go into the room and they say, we can't sell because the slippage is 20%. And you realize, oh, that's the wrong kind of influencer. That's the wrong kind of buyer. And that's the wrong relationship we've established. So what we're doing now is we are establishing good relationships with the right people that we like. We're doing it not just here, when I say here, I mean in the English-speaking audience, but we've put a lot of time, David knows because he's been working on this very, very hard for the last few months. But we're developing a whole Chinese community. We're developing a Turkish community. We're working in different languages. Think of the audiences that are out there that just don't speak English, and that will give you an idea of the scope and the scale that we're going for. Why would we go to the same little pot of pump and dump buyers, right, when we can go elsewhere and find people that want to invest in a project which now has 6 months of history behind it, and we can actually go there and say, look, we're a long-term project. This is the difference. And so this is the marketing we're doing. And you're going to see us on Twitter. You're going to see us in major publications. You're going to see featured articles. You're going to see us trending across, all the usual channels, DEX tools, CMC, all those kind of things. All these things are standard. I wouldn't even say, this for most projects would be, oh, we're really upping it. No, these things we're doing anyway. But on top of that, guys, we're moving into other regions. We're moving into other languages, and we're going to make you friends in the community all around the world. And that's what we want.
Right.
That is absolutely huge, right? Like everybody watching right now, I want you all to realize how crazy that is, because speaking from just a dumb YouTuber's perspective, okay, because I'm not an expert in DeFi marketing, anything like that, is I get so many projects that I'm looking through, I'm watching, I'm trying to just do research on to create content for, and one of the main things that a lot of people use like as their marketing strategy is literally just competitions on Twitter, like, you know, paying influencers. But this right here, actually getting into these audiences and getting into these different parts of the world and different, you know, languages. I mean, that is huge, and that's actual true organic marketing. We see this with. I love to nerd out on YouTube, right? And we see this with Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast, literally, everybody knows Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is one of the most subscribed YouTubers on the face of this planet. He does awesome stuff. And all he's simply done with his business on YouTube is create a Brazilian channel. He created a Spanish channel, like all these, and does the same content. He just now appeals to a larger audience, and now he gets more people within his place. So it's the same thing that Titano's doing, and I just wanted to really emphasize that's freaking awesome, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Let me add one thing to that, Austin, and that is John mentioned, and I actually had it on my notes to talk about our Chinese community. So we've, as John has mentioned, over the last short while, he and I have been focusing on. It's something we've always had on the roadmap, on our personal roadmaps, but we've been focusing on building out a Chinese community. The challenge when you try and build out any community, right? Doesn't matter the language, is you got to make sure that you've got the right elements to powerfully move into that community. And we've had all sorts of, I mean, I don't know how many discussions with people who were claiming they could bring us in. And again, it's the same issue. What's the quality of us going? How are we going to make sure that we don't diminish what Titano is when we go into these new areas? And so what that means is it means finding the right partner. And we found the right person who is a Titan who loved the project. And he reached out to me initially when I went into the Chinese community, and he said, David, I've got an entire network, an entire organization, part of which is dedicated to bringing crypto to the Chinese community, and I want to work with you guys. And we formed a great relationship. Paul is his name. He's fantastic. He's an amazing person. He is smart. He's very, very well connected. He's got a whole plan for us. And we've been working with him, the team, John and I have been working with him to help build this out. So again, it starts with this strong foundation. So we'll be able to move into, in the case of Paul, Chinese influencers and Chinese media. But again, we can maintain what John's talking about. When we engage, we're engaging with the right people. We're engaging with the right influencers. We're engaging with the right media in the right way. So that's how we've been doing it. We've been building it organically fast, and this should take off extremely fast. We're all thinking that it will, but that's been the strategy. So it's very strategically done. But again, it's designed to continue to create a strong base for Titano as we move forward.
Yeah, absolutely, David. And the thing people have to understand is you've worked all around the world and in Asia for many years as well, and you know that market so well. And we've had contacts in DeFi marketing for that region, but it is incredibly exciting to be working with Paul because he's really stepping it up to another level. I mean, we know people, but I think this guy, yeah, I'm excited. Over the next month or two, we're going to see some big things happen.
Absolutely.
A lot of people are saying if we get to 1,000 likes, they want us to do a burpee. So we got a lot of questions, and I see the same thing. Mods hit me up with this from the chat. We've seen a lot of people in the chat ask this question. So, and John, I'm gonna ask you about this. NFTs. Can we get another update? Any more information? Anything as far as the NFTs, the utility that it's going to be providing? Anything more that I can leak out of you?
I will tell you something very exciting. I just got the final...
See, here we go.
The team doesn't even know yet. David doesn't even know. I literally just got dropped the final preview of all the NFTs. I don't want to say anything more, but I've seen them just got dropped just before this call started, and they look amazing. They look incredible. I want to own all of them. So good luck, guys. They look so good. They look so good. Yeah. The plan for the NFTs, I believe, again, we're trying to stagger it, so trying to make the most of it. And as we just mentioned, we are bringing on board this whole Chinese community. We're doing this outreach not just in China, but Turkey as well, and other regions. So what we'd like to do is just establish that. But we're looking at an NFT release within, I think, the next 60 days. So everything's ready. It's just about having the audience ready for us, and I don't think we're going to have a problem. It's very exciting. They look amazing.
And we got a
Wow,
comment here from
that was incredibly diplomatic. John, you need to go on politics. Hey, one thing.
I was saying the same thing.
One more thing I wanted to add. John mentioned that we are also engaging in an outreach in the Turkish community, right? Turkey is one of the top 10 fastest growing, or maybe top 5, I think.
Top 3, I think.
Top 3 fastest growing crypto markets in the world. A lot of people don't know that. So this is one of the reasons why we're focusing on Turkey.
Sorry, I know I just answered that in a very I was excited because I've just seen them. But do you want to know how it works? Is that what people are asking? I'm seeing some
like
stuff.
Javier Medina, if I said your name, I'm sorry if I mispronounced, but they said explain Titano NFTs in layman's terms, and then other people were like, just to add to that question, like, what could you give us anything as far as the actual specific utility that this NFT provides? I'm myself I'm really curious as well.
Okay. So let me read off my notes because I need to have them here. 1 second. So, all right. So this is how it works, right? So users will buy the Titano NFTs with BNB. The BNB. So that's step 1. Buy them first with BNB. Step 2, the BNB will be divided into 2 parts. So 50% will go to the treasury. So obviously that goes to development, and then 50% will go to Titano buyback. And this buyback is a new feature. It will occur every X number of hours with a random percentage from 1 to 90% to buy back Titano. So this will incentivize the community to buy Titano before the buyback timer ends, right? Does that make sense? So every time NFT is bought, half of it goes to treasury, half of it goes to this buyback feature, buyback protocol. And then it will randomly buy back at any point between 1 and 90%. And that'll incentivize people to buy Titano before that timer ends. 60% of the Titano bought back will be deposited on a faucet to create a passive income for the Titano NFT holders. Users just need to claim the rewards, much like the Play protocol. So if you're holding Titano NFTs, you can then take some of this rewards, right? Of the 100%, so 6% will be deposited into the faucet to create a passive reward, and then 20% would be deposited into a new lifetime NFT Play protocol, where Titano NFT holders are eligible to win weekly or bi-weekly prizes generated from the interest, because obviously it's Titano, so it's auto staking, and it's accumulating interest, auto compounding. The remaining 20% will be burned, so again, it's deflationary. All right, so you've got a load of things going on there. We'll try and make some notes from this later.
So John, so I got a question, because you kind of lost me at the buyback. So you said, so let's just get these percentages out there. Okay, so you said you got 50%. So I myself want to buy an NFT, so I'm putting 50% of my purchase into the treasury. Okay, yes. Then you said the other 50% goes to the buyback.
The buyback feature, yeah, that's right.
And then it's buying back what exactly?
It buys back Titano.
But it just buys back. Okay, cool. And then you said another percentage, because 50 and 50 is 100%. So what did you say the other percentage was, as far as you said something else? You said 3 different percentages.
So of the buyback of the bought back Titano, 60% of that will be deposited onto a faucet to create the passive rewards.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah, another 20%
awesome.
will be yeah. So basically, your Titano NFTs will create revenue for you. That's how it works. And then there'll be 20% deposited into a new lifetime NFT play protocol where you use your NFT holders are eligible to win these prizes. And then the remaining 20%, so that's 100% of the bought back tokens, will be burned. So it's deflationary. The
Wow.
NFT, yeah, right. It's huge. So the NFT marketplace of Titano will also have fees on each sell inside it, and these fees will also go half to the treasury and half back to the buyback mechanism. So what this means, I know there's a lot, guys. We'll write it all out. So it's much easier to understand when you see it on a page, right? But in the long term vision, as Titano is bought back, the buyback fund will keep increasing, as will the interest, and the lifetime NFT play prices will keep increasing too. So what this means, the long and short of it, is the first generation of Titano NFTs will always increase in value. That's what I hinted at the first time round, right? So this allows us to create multiple generations of NFTs, but the first one, try and this is not financial advice, people, but it will always generate revenue for you. Yes.
Wow. Yeah, that's really cool, and I'm glad you shared that because I'm see my whole goal here. We did an AMA together last time. We did an AMA now. My whole goal is to keep chipping away at this NFT thing until you just leak it all. So
I can see that, Austin. I can see that, underneath that handsome veneer, there's this NFT ninja coming at us.
well, see, and
Yeah,
I'm
he
clueless to the NFT market. So I like as far like I know a decent amount in the DeFi world. I'm not an expert, but when it comes to NFTs, you've lost me. You lost me. So that's why I'm like
well,
sitting here like really analyzing what you say because I'm really trying to understand it.
Austin, I know you're gonna have to buy one of those brand new NFT screens for your new studio there, and we're
Yeah,
gonna have a couple of them up there. I'm confident this is gonna be your new artwork.
we gotta do it. We
Hey,
gotta do it. And in addition to the NFT question, someone asked a really good one. And I want to add on to this question. So Moro says, will there be a secondary market for the Titano NFT? And just to add on to that question, because I've seen some people says, please go on Solana or please go on. Is there like a specific platform that this Titano NFT will be on, like Solana, or is it going to be on Solana or whatever? Could you answer that?
So, to the first half, will there be a secondary market for the NFT? Yes. So I did mention that earlier. So, um, there will be a marketplace, and there will be fees from that. So on each sell from the marketplace, the 50% will go to treasury again, and 50% will go to the buyback mechanism, as I explained earlier.
Right.
Yeah, so that will be on there. I know. Again, it's hard to visualize, but we'll have this down in writing. And just remember that the Titano interest is always increasing. The play prizes will keep increasing. The NFT value will keep increasing. So for the first generation of NFTs, especially because they're the first ones, it will be on Binance. It will be on BSC to the second half.
Awesome. That is a great. Yeah, there's just so many answers. So I mean, right then and there, guys. Like my two favorite things we've just talked about so far is especially the marketing. I mean that marketing is very 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 crucial of being organic marketing versus just these articles. Because I was even talking about this a little bit on the Titano stage when people were asking about the what the marketing is. You know, when you just go on like CoinMarketCap or PooCoin or any of these platforms and you see all those little banner ads of just all these crazy, projects, we don't really want to like have that same vibe, right? We don't want to have this vibe where you see Titano everywhere and it's like this pump and dump type of project. This is a legitimate project. So it's like I was telling people, it's kind of like this double-edged sword, right? You don't want to do too much marketing where you kind of blend in with these other projects versus you don't want to do you don't want to just lack on it, but
right.
I think my personal opinion, and I will keep saying this, is the best form of marketing in this DeFi world is just proof of concept. Once these things start
Right.
happening and people are making money, making life-changing money, paying off all these like medical bills, college bills, buying businesses, paying off their house, all this crazy stuff, that just builds that organic user base. And I mean, that's what sold me. I've seen a lot of people actually making money on this, and I was like, shoot, I need to try this.
Right. We've also, Austin, and very well said, by the way, but we've also been very fortunate because, you know, a lot of people, me included, have gotten friends and family involved in Titano, and it creates a stronger base for us, right? That's critical, right? That's when I was saying with what happened with the price, you know, falling. It happened because our base all of a sudden got weak. You know, we were so high up in the air, and we were being supported by these, you know, these Lambo people. And I get it, but that's not really what Titano's about. You know, so we have to be careful, because if you're sending out that kind of marketing, well, guess what you're going to attract? And you know, yeah, absolutely, every single way. It's been interesting too, as John mentioned. We've got, I don't know the exact number now because I've lost count, but I'm sure it's around 500 or more videos on YouTube. We paid for 5, so that gives you an indication of how much people are talking about Titano. There's 500, we paid for 5. And a lot of them, you know, they run the spectrum, the gamut, you know, from Titano's, you know, the son of Satan, to Titano is, you know, the second coming. And what I find is interesting, because I get a lot of people going, "Did you see this new video?" And I go and looking at someone with 8 subscribers. They all, no matter what they say, give people, make people wonder, well, what in the world is this project? And then people come out of curiosity onto our socials, and they see that it's a different kind of a thing going on, right? And so I don't get so nervous about these YouTubers and what they may say, the ones that put up negative stuff. My continual refrain to that is, I don't know how you can review a project when you haven't reached out to the people who created the project. You did an entire assessment of this project, but you haven't talked to, you know, it's like right now the Lakers, there's a documentary about the Lakers, and everyone's flipping out because no one talked to the Lakers. You know, Lakers is the Los Angeles basketball team. And so now they're all suing everyone. How can you tell me what I was thinking when you never even reached out to me to find out, hey, what were you thinking? So I take all of it with a grain of salt. And for me, like I said, when I watch them, I go, someone's gonna, 2 things are always consistent. Number one, if you go into the comments, the Titans are coming out strong. Oh my gosh. I'm like 92 comments on a guy with 90 subscribers, and 86 of them are the Titans going, you don't even know. If you come to the protocol, where'd you get this information? Oh my gosh. And here's the great thing. The questions and the comments that you guys are putting up are so articulate. It's not, you know, go back into your hole and you're horrible and I hope your dog dies. It's not that stuff. It's articulate questions around, where did you get this data? So, you know, that's the first thing. And the second thing is, like I said earlier, you know, it brings people to take a look and see what we're doing. And so they're doing a lot of marketing for us for free.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you hear that joke all the time, right? Any publicity is good publicity to an extent, you know? So we got, I'm sorry.
I just said, keep it coming.
So we got a really good objective question here by Finance. They said, you were always talking about the NFTs, which will give you any APY, lottery with the APY, normal holding with APY. Where is the features to decrease the token? So as far as like deflation, right? So if we could just talk to both, you know, David and John, can we just kind of go through like a quick summary of all these different, you know, specific deflationary mechanisms that both lottery, the play, the DEX, like everything that we're doing that is coming out with V2, what is all these different deflationary aspects that kind of help the ecosystem?
Got it. John, you want to take it? You want me to take it?
Well, I'll let you elaborate on what I start with, if that's okay. I'm just going to say that it's a really good question, because if these weren't deflationary, if these things that we brought to the table weren't deflationary, they would be pointless. So first up, all 3 of the things you mentioned have a deflationary element. It's incredibly important. Everything we're bringing to the table after this initial Titano tap auto staking protocol is deflationary. Everything that's being brought in and brought to the table is deflationary. So you're actually adding value. We're adding real revenue and real value. In terms of specifics, well, we have the documentation out, but I'm sure David can take you through those now.
Yeah. Well, with regard to play, right, there's a deflationary component to play. When you participate in play, you voluntarily take your tokens off of the high APY, the high fixed APY, and you put it into a contest where you have a chance to win a large amount of Titano. If you look at play as a complete ecosystem, play is deflationary, right? Because more people are taking their tokens off that APY, going to a variable APY, which I think in Austin, you might know this better than me. I think the APY was somewhere between like 300 and 600%, 1,000%, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I have no clue about the variable APY within the play.
It was in that range. I know I've seen it in that range. So the project itself is deflationary, right? When you take tokens off the APY, you're slowing down the token growth. That's deflationary. Similarly, when we look at the lottery, right? The lottery is a project that people will have to spend their Titano to participate in the lottery, and a portion of that Titano will be burned, so there's the deflationary component. As we mentioned with regard to the DEX, some of the fees will be burned, so there's deflation. And as the DEX gets built out, Titano will always look at what elements can be created or what version of those elements that will end up being deflationary for Titano. As John said, it is a primary goal for the use cases that we're talking about. Remember, we talked about the 4 different types of use cases, and the first 2 that I always mention are number 1, deflationary, and number 2, generating revenue. So what we're talking about, and if we can do this properly, right? A third is bringing in new Titans, and 4th is getting Titans to hold on their Titano longer. What we're attempting to do is to cross as many of those 4 different areas with these use cases as possible. So as an example, when someone was asking about the DEX, we have staking and long-term staking and all those sorts of things. Well, yeah, that's part of our primary use case. So there with the DEX, it'll allow us to do all 4 of these areas and in a substantial way. So yeah, as John said, I want to reiterate, I want to start in where he started, which is every use case you see, as he mentioned, as an example with the NFTs, there's a deflationary component. You will hear that again and again and again and again with every use case that we bring up.
Yeah, and I seen someone, they were like talking about how it doesn't take it just slows the APY, but just to reiterate, these deflationary mechanisms that David's talking about, it's actually taking those tokens off the market, right? It's taking those off the market so that way there's not that much, like there's not that many in circulation, right? So it'll increase the demand for the token. That's how the price either goes up or down, right? Supply and demand. So if you're taking away that supply and the demand is still there through the different types of things that they're going to be, coming out with V2 as far as the Titano play, the lottery, the DEX, that's going to actually help that price appreciation. Now, obviously, I don't have a crystal ball and I don't know what that price appreciation is going to look like. No one does. But that, like taking the APY, the pressure off the APY, doing the burn mechanisms within the actual DEX, buying the NFTs, using the lottery system. Those are some really good ways that we can lay that foundation of creating that deflationary aspect for the ecosystem. And then, yeah, of course, like I think, David, you even said in one of the other AMAs, as long as you guys keep staying consistent at innovating new ways for deflation, I mean, that's great for the project. And this isn't, correct me if I'm wrong, but this isn't the only thing. You guys aren't done. This is just laying the foundation for the future of all these deflationary aspects, correct?
Absolutely.
This is these 3 things that you mentioned, the Titano play, the lottery, and the NFTs. Those are the first 3 things. It's
this it. We ain't done.
3. No, this is like the very first step.
There will be dozens of these types of use cases, and John and I.
Sorry, David. I've just noticed, because our good man who asked about the lottery, he just posted a comment. He never answered, and I don't want to do that. So, yes, I'm answering. It is the lottery will be. There were 2 questions about the lottery, and I made a note to come back to it. One was, will the prizes be tiered? Yes, there will be tiers of prizes. It won't just be one single jackpot. The second was, who will be overseeing the draw? Well, it will be done but through a Chainlink integration. We use Chainlink to provide random numbers. So yes, it's not that we will be sitting in the back saying, "Oh, what numbers did Austin choose?" Because
Hey,
we
Austin helped us out with the
select
AMA.
those.
What's his wallet address again?
Exactly. No. It's Chainlink integration. Everything will be fair.
Well, I guess I got to sign out now. I mean, shoot, I don't have no motivation.
No NFTs for you and no lottery. I'm sorry.
So we got a. What's up?
I'm sorry. I wanted to add a little something with regard to deflation and revenue, right? Projects are demanded in the crypto space if they want to sustain, to become real projects. And what that means is real projects generate revenue, right? And that revenue has to be consistent and growing, right? Particularly as the community grows. And because Titano is this high fixed APY rebase token, our demand is that we pay attention to deflation or inflation, and we come up with ways that are consistent at fighting inflation. With regard to how Titano approaches it, remember, Titano had the burden of being the OG in this space. And a lot of time needed to be spent to examine exactly what this project was. What do we have here? I mentioned to you one of the things that we've noticed is that Titano created a different type of protocol where the community is part of the protocol. And we believe that that component gives us additional elements that we need to study. And out of looking at everything that's going on, use cases are being consistently developed. But it took time. It took time to get data. So with this data, we are now launching these particular use cases, the DEX, as I mentioned. Remember, I said to everyone, the moment that CERTIC audit is in, 72 hours, we're onto the new token. And I got a phone call 24 hours into that and said, David, we're not going to move to that. And I said, what? We're launching a DEX. And I went, really? What have you guys been doing? We've been watching what's been going on. My point is that we're paying attention to everything that is happening in the space with Titano, with the protocol as it matures, and then thoughtfully adding use cases. So that's what you're seeing. There will be dozens because there have to be. We have to have aggressive strategies to fight inflation, and we do.
Absolutely,
that's my
totally agree, man.
You know, it's a really interesting question. David got me into Titano right near the start. He told me about this project a couple of weeks after it launched. Obviously, he didn't tell me when it first launched because he wanted to get in before me. But he told me about it, and he told me about this this high APY, and I said to him, this isn't sustainable, right? This isn't sustainable. And he said, well, listen, you should have a chat to the devs. Let me bring you in and have a chat to the founders because they're special. They're different, and I will give you 2 words to describe the devs as a whole, because to me they're just one thing, right? They're this entity that floats around in crypto DeFi space, multiple limbed, multiple tentacles, and I call them big brains. They have big brains, and that is what comes across when you talk to these guys. From the very first conversation, I got on board and I said, well, where's it going to go with such a high APY? This is inflation. Where does it go? We see projects like this start up and within a few weeks they disappear. Within a few days they disappear. In DeFi, you've seen projects appear and disappear within hours. And when I spoke to them, what I realized immediately was that no, they had a long-term plan. Secondly, they really cared. They really cared about this community. They just didn't want to let people down. And like I said, they have big brains and they don't want to let people down. And normally a lot of good comes from that. And when they started talking about their ideas, talking about the on-ramping, talking about NFTs, talking about utilities to decrease this inflation. Sorry. When I started hearing all these things, I was on board. They know what they're talking about, and the proof is in the pudding, right? As they say in the UK. The proof is in the timing. Projects last hours, days, or weeks, but to be going 6 months at 102,000% APY, it tells you something. It tells you that they're developing, they're marketing correctly, they're communicating right, they're developing, on all fronts, and they know how to handle this protocol. The protocol, when you look at it, is just a rebasing positive protocol, right? So you're getting, okay, I put $1,000 in, I get $1 million out at the end of the year, and everyone screams, well, how can this work? But look at it more deeply. Look at it in the last few days and the last couple of weeks. Look at the way that the liquidity is handled through, this shallow liquidity, but there's all this actual resources sitting in the treasury and the RFE. This is big brains. This is genius stuff. What it tells you is that they've planned for a long-term project. It's lasted 6 months and they know how to steer the ship. So it really puzzles me, and it kind of worries me when people bring up the forks. And the reason we tell people not to mention the projects that are competing, not really competing, but following us, copying us, is because those people didn't create this. They didn't separate the treasury, the liquidity, the way that we did it. They're copying the APY. And do they have the same intentions? Do they have the same long-term plan? Is it different? These things are so delicate. I won't speak to any other project because I don't know those people, but I know the guys here. They're sound and they have big brains.
Well said. Well said. Yeah. Thank you for that, Austin. Thank you for allowing us to kind of go off, to kind of let you guys see what we're seeing. As John said, I got involved in Titano as an investor. And I love these guys so much that when they did that horrible AMA, I went to John and I said, man, we have got to get involved in this project. These are good guys. They've got a great plan, but they need help executing. And, the question wasn't, well, is this possible? We're in a space, all of us, we voluntarily walked into this space where whatever token you put your money in, it's a long shot. So that can't be the criteria. Well, is it a long shot or is it a definite? There is no definite in the crypto space, right? Everyone's experimenting. And my feeling was, and John came to me very, very quickly in that first phone call, this one really has a shot. This is when everyone was saying it's a shit coin, excuse my language. All of that was the word. It's a rug pull. It's this. It's a scam. It's a Ponzi. And now we are 160, from what I'm hearing, 160 forks either launched or planned later. And people are going, well, wait a minute. I'm not really sure what this is. Well, we've been telling you what it is. It's a revolution. It's a different approach to what people are saying they believe is possible. It's simple for me. If you look at the original white paper for Bitcoin, he talks about what Titano's trying to create, that it's about decentralization. So I've said this constantly. Titano's taken what was the weak points in DeFi 1.0, right? Liquidity and centralization. And it dealt with the centralization issue. The centralization, what are you talking about? Everybody's money's in one single point of failure. And when it falls, everyone's hurt. So what did Titano do? They said, we're going to decentralize the money. Instead of having this massive treasury where we're going to say, well, let me tell you what we're going to do with your money. What they've done is instead is they said, what we're going to do with your money? We're going to put it in your wallets immediately. So when people ask me, well, David, why is your treasury so shallow? Because all of the treasury is in our wallet holders' wallets. That's decentralization. Again, with the DAO question, well, what about a DAO? The DAO is we can't do anything substantial unless the Titans agree. So what's the second part of DeFi 1.0's problem? Liquidity. We're about to take control of our liquidity. So when you ask, what's this project? It's what everyone's been asking for. In my opinion, So when I see these other projects coming along, and I've said this repeatedly, I get a new fork a day coming and going. I've figured out how to solve every problem that Titano couldn't solve. I fixed this thing. I go, really? Well, talk to me about it. And I'm listening. And if I'm impressed, and I rarely am, then I just say to them, we're gonna pass. We're gonna pass. Well, we're gonna help you guys, and because if I'm gonna take a bet, I'm gonna bet on these guys who created this thing. And
Right.
there's something special here. We can't always put all our arms around it and what's going on, but we can recognize, as John said, we're in the 6 months here, and I can take you back to videos in December where people were going 30 days, no more, it's done. January,
Yeah.
oh man, I've done this mathematical formula, and Titano has to fail in the next 15 days. February, let me tell you guys, Titano is dead. It's a dead man walking. And people, and through it all, I've gotten people coming to me, David, we need to add this and we need to add that. And if we don't add this, where are all those projects now?
Exactly.
Where are they? All of this, and there's a mechanism where if you put this and paint it purple, it's going to cause sustainability. Where are all those projects? Like I always
Exactly.
say, give it 30 days, 45 days to see if they know what they're talking about. We've got our eyes on them. But, so this is the environment that we're in. And I want all of you Titans to understand you're part of this protocol. See, when I listen to other people and they don't bring up the community, it's a non-conversation for me. I don't tell them that. But when it's all about, well, see, we've got this burn thing and this and that, and we whoop and we spin it around. And have you ever been on a merry-go-round? Just keep spinning and spinning. Imagine it going faster and faster into infinity, and the project can never fail.
Yeah.
You've come a way to have a project that will never fail,
Yeah.
and you're talking to Titano about that?
We have magic mushroom. We have magic
Right.
mushroom.
You take this pill. When you get the token, you get this pill.
Yeah.
It's like, like I tell people all the time, this is not a magic show. This is hard work and a lot of data and listening to a lot of people and building a real business, a real organization here. So, that's what's going on. And that's how we see it, Austin. That's what John and I said. We've never seen anything different.
And it's let's go to a real life example. Take a Formula One car. You can add all these different things to it, right? You can increase the torque, you increase the whatever. There are limits, but you can do all these different things. Every different car company has their thing which they think will make them win, but often it comes down to the driver, right? It comes down to the driver. And we have some really good drivers here. We have an amazing team. And as we talked about before with the marketing, we've deliberately gone out and created an amazing community, and that supports the team, and the team does vice versa. And at the very top, we have founders that care, that lead, people that talk about inflation. This is the distribution stage of the token, and they are distributing the token to all the wallets. It's not about putting it in their own wallets, right? And that's what David's saying. So when you say, can it last? How's the inflation? How are you dealing with this? How are you dealing with that? We are 6 months in, let us work. We're working.
Yeah.
Well,
so
I like that reference. Sorry, Austin.
So we got two more. I think we can fit two more questions into this AMA, and then a lot of people are going crazy because I made a deal. I gotta own up on my deal. I told them if we got to 1,000 likes, which we have gotten over 1,000 likes on this live stream now. I gotta do a burpee for the audience.
Austin, now hang on a second. Now, see, I don't know it's because they actually like the video or is it just about you doing this burpee?
I think it could be a combination of both.
What is this about, though? Is it that they don't think you can do a burpee, or what? Why?
So here's some Titano Austin Clark history, right? So we were doing a stage the other day, and somebody went through my YouTube channel because before, just a little bit of Austin trivia here, is I used to have my channel oriented around fitness and finance. Okay. And I kind of didn't, I just had to choose because that's just two drastically different channels.
Oh,
And I had a burpee challenge. Someone shared my burpee challenge. I did like 300 burpees for 9/11. And then everybody was
wow.
like, I need to see you do some burpees. So people were like, if we get to 1,000, you got to do it. So I agreed.
There's a lesson here, Austin. There's a lesson here. It will always find you, your history.
Hey, no shame, no shame. I left all those terrible videos back up. All right.
All
Hey,
right.
Amazing.
so
Well,
we got two more questions for these Titans before I get into that. But one of them was I tried actually going back, but you guys are blowing up the chat so much, my software won't even let me go back that far. But we got one that was talking about. They said, okay, cool. So we got all these different mechanisms for Titano. Now, one thing they would love to see is what about donations? Because I remember, David, you kind
ah,
of talked to me a little bit about
yep,
this before the live stream. And if you
yes,
guys don't know, I got a mission myself, Operation Give Back, on my YouTube channel. And
yes.
I love giving back. I love giving back. So, what are some charity things that we have set in place for
Mm,
Titano?
Guys,
thank you, thank
I'm
you.
just going to interrupt this a very actually nice moment with some good news. Well, the distribution is starting, so they double checked,
Ooh,
triple checked the wallets, and distribution of the new tokens is starting. So look out for those soon.
nice. Check
Fantastic.
those wallets,
Fantastic.
people.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Okay, so charity, you guys don't know, but both John and I individually have throughout our lives been involved with charities, either directly, um, both directly and indirectly. Indirectly meaning giving money to charities. It's a big and important area for us, right? Because we know that everyone's not born equal and people will run into problems and they just need help. A project like Titano is, in a community like we're building, is great for that. So let me tell you what we're doing. We will set up next week a a page on Discord that is dedicated to charities. And we are now engaging with our first charity, and we're still trying to figure out how this will go. It might be where we spotlight a charity and then we'll ask Titans to donate to that charity. And we're still working on all of those mechanisms, but it's all being put in place now. Um, so that's coming. We're aware of it. Titano will participate also in these donations, and all of that stuff will be set up. And like I said, we found what we believe to be our first charity. It's a Titan. It's an amazing charity built around mental health. Um, if any of you watched Will Smith smack Chris Rock, you know how important mental health issues are right now. I don't mean to make a joke out of it, but yeah, so that's a big thing. The other thing I want to say about charity, right, is one of the amazing things that Titano has made available. And I said it a few times that I've got a very good friend that I brought into Titano. He's a happy and proud Titan. He and Kendra, I believe her name is, are the two that created Titano Life,
Yeah.
right? So Titano Life got created. Initially, he came to me and said, "Hey, man, I want Titano to take this on." And I just said, "We're so busy, we can't do it, but it's such a great idea. We want to see it done. So start it, and we'll give you as much support as we can." It's similar with the charity, right? Where on the one hand, it's extraordinarily important, and we want to participate. But on the other hand, what I see going forward is finding a way where we can create an infrastructure to not just provide some revenue to charities, but to put them in a position where they don't have to do so much fundraising. Charities on average spend 70% of their time not working on the issue that they're dealing with. It's on fundraising. It's on raising money so they can focus any of their time on these issues. So if we can come up with a way, and we can, where we could use, as an example, the Titano auto staking protocol to consistently feed a charity. I don't mean we take auto staking tokens and put them into the charity. That's not what I mean. What I mean is we create an economy around a group of charities so they can have their own auto staking protocol that then feeds them revenue that they can use for their causes. it's something that takes time and interest in developing, but I see that as a future um, for Titano in one of these areas, in the charity area. But in the meantime, we're going to start it next week. You'll see on Discord that there'll be a charity area, and we're very, very excited. As I've said in the past, this is one of my favorite areas, and an area that I'm just really, really proud that we're all going to be able to participate in. I've gotten dozens of messages from Titans going, hey guys, I want to get involved. I'm willing to give some of my rebases. I got an idea. I work with a charity. All of that stuff is amazing. Let's make all of it happen. Not part of it. Let's make all of it happen.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. I mean, charity, like, I think everybody, I tell people this all the time, to a certain extent, one thing that I love about Titano is I've always had like this burning passion, right, to just really financially give back and help people. And Titano has been one of the projects that's helped me do that, right? And I think everybody has that like giving spirit inside of them. They just, of course, lack the financial side, and that's another reason why financial freedom, chasing financial freedom, doing that type of stuff. I think everybody would love to give back. They just need that financial foundation and that solid foundation that a project like Titano could offer with sustainable long-term passive income. So we got one more final question, okay, before we get into the burpees, and then John said we're waiting for the first transaction to go through with actually distributing all these V2 tokens, and that is with the DEX, because we've nailed that DEX. But one thing that kept a lot of people asking, and maybe you can't answer this, I don't know, is because this maybe can flirt with the partnership aspect, is when you go to the DEX, is it just going to be to transact Titano tokens, or will there ever be a possibility, if not right now, a way to buy other tokens as well and then use those fees to feed the treasury or whatever you want to do?
Yes.
Is that just yes?
Yes. Yes.
Just yes.
The future plans are a full feature DEX with dozens and dozens of tokens. Yes, that is absolutely in the plans.
And yeah, sorry, I was being trite. But no, as David said, the plan is to have this as a full featured DEX. We're going to have all the functionality of the the pancake swaps of the world. Yeah, we're going to bring new projects on board, and we're gonna share in that revenue as well. Absolutely.
Right. Absolutely.
All right, guys, I'm getting my studio angled up so that way I can get this burpee for everybody.
All right, I was just wondering, are you getting changed? Or
no, I'm not getting changed. I just see. So the way my studio's set up, if I tried to do a burpee right where this camera is right now, I would literally kill myself. So I gotta change the.
Don't lie. You're taking your top off and doing some push-ups first. Is that right?
Yeah, we know you're stretching, doing some calisthenics. We know.
Golden tan. This is
looking in the mirror right now, making sure I get that good angle.
Yeah, I knew it.
Oh man.
All right. So Operation Give Back here. Oh, look at that! My camera turned off. So convenient. Operation Give Back. We're giving back a burpee today in honor of 1,000 likes. All right, here we go.
Let's see this.
Let's go turn this around here. Oh yeah, take off. All right, here we go. Y'all ready? Can you see that? Can you see the ground here?
All right. Yeah, kind of. Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. Let me move my chair. I might die.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Look at that.
Yay! That was outstanding. David, you know what I've been thinking about, David? One of the utilities that we could offer on the site through the DEX is a fitness channel. What do you think? I mean, who could possibly lead that? A fitness channel with a...
I don't know. Let me think about our options.
Titan
John,
Fit.
when you think about it, there's only one person that comes to mind, actually. Yeah, I don't. I mean, are you thinking the same person?
I'm thinking the same person. I'm thinking the same person.
Yeah,
I'm thinking Pickles, right?
yeah, exactly. I was thinking the Pickles. Let's reach out to him and see if he'd be interested.
Yeah. That was awesome, Austin. Thank you so much for the giving back.
Thank you, man.
I know everyone
Absolutely.
appreciated it.
And while
You
we're
know
waiting for,
oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know this. So, John, you and I have been working together for a little bit now on what is going to be happening tomorrow. Should
Oh
we?
yes,
Should
fantastic.
we drop this bomb right now on him?
Yeah, I'm really excited about this, and this is something David mentioned at the start. But I'm so excited with this. Go on, go for it.
Right, sweet. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload the official logo here. So give me 1 second. If David, you want to keep talking on whatever you want to talk about, and then I want to upload it here.
Yeah, I don't even know what you guys are talking. What have you guys been doing? What is this?
Austin doesn't stop. Austin doesn't stop. I believe he doesn't sleep.
The other thing that I wanted to say while you do that uploading is what probably doesn't get spoken about enough directly is this should also be a time where we're all having fun. There are some real characters in Discord and TG when I come in there and I see them and they just brighten my day. And then it's funny because then they'll message me, they'll DM me and go, "Hey man, was I too much of a fool?" and blah 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 blah. I'm like, that's impossible to put those two phrases. They're too much of a fool. Be a fool. You know, we're here, guys. This is our lives that we're dedicating to this stuff. We should have fun with all of this, right? In between all the work and all the things that are being thrown at us, let's have fun. And so I just want to encourage you all to do that. And along with that, reach out to us. Don't be, I say in a forum like this, or when we're in Austin, where we're doing, one of the AMAs where people are asking questions live. A lot of people won't ask questions because they're just shy. They don't want to be put out there. Write me a message, and say whatever it is that you want to say. If you have concerns, if you have something that you think will make the protocol better. I've got so much amazing stuff. And as I said, I move it all along. If I can't answer the question, I move it along. The one thing I'll say is bear with us in terms sometimes of getting answers because the guys are busy. The devs are busting their butts. And I just want to give a shout out to them because of all their hard work and everything that they're doing. And we are going to, my opinion, break the record for DeFi with the amount of amazing use cases, major use cases we've got in a short period of time coming out. So they're working really hard, and they're working hard for all of us, and it's appreciated. So yeah, but keep sending those messages and have some fun. When you're in there, you see some guys that are they're just fools, and I love them. Right, and Austin comes in and they're making fun of him and they got names for all of us and they put up these names and I'm like, well, how in the world do you guys have these things on your computer just waiting? I think that must be it, Austin.
Well, see, I make so many jokes to my friends, right? Especially the people that have no clue what crypto and DeFi is. And one of the reasons I just freaking love DeFi so much is you have straight millionaires, okay? Millionaires and multimillionaires that have profile pictures of the most funniest things and they joke and it's not like, because I also invest in real estate and I come from the real estate side where, everybody's like, obviously in people in real estate and invest in real estate, there's fun people as well, but like it's a little more like professional. Like if I'm just going to say, if you go into a real estate meetup and, you just have like the same demeanor as like say like what we do with DeFi where we just make all these crazy jokes and talk about this and our profile picture is this. Like if you go on say like a real estate online meetup or something and your profile picture is like something that we are normal to see in the DeFi space, people would not even take you serious, right? But in the DeFi space, you have these people that have great senses of humor and like they're just really cool people, and you're not judging them based on all these dumb little things that most centralized parts of the finance aspect, do. It's just because it's like we're just sitting here having fun making money, and that's I think that's what DeFi really is.
You know, it's funny about that too. Those same people with those crazy pictures and putting up these memes and this and stuff. They got one with me and Summit, and I'm like, what in the world? then they'll message me, and it'll be like this genius level question or suggestion, and I'm like, wait a minute, you're that clown in the main chat, and now you come to go, David, I've been and I've been studying this thing for 6 months. I'm like, it's amazing. So yeah, let's have some fun here. Let's have some fun. We're all on a road that has a destination where it can solve a lot of our problems for us and our families and for a lot of other people, right? And along the way, we end up proving things, right, that we can all come together and accomplish something together. So, I just wanted to add that, before you guys do your big reveal, I wanted to, build it up. So, you ready now?
Oh, I'm ready. All right, guys, we have 1,126 people watching the stream right now, and we only have
Okay.
1 point. Okay, actually, I was about to say we only have X amount of likes, but we actually have the same amount of likes as people watching. So if you haven't yet, make sure you drop this like because we're about to show you guys something. So one thing that I love doing YouTube about, right? Even outside of Titano, just I love doing YouTube in general. Is I truly love content creation because you can really build some powerful communities. Okay, you can really build powerful communities, network. Just really have this thing where if say you have a friend group that no one else likes, investing in the DeFi space, but you are very passionate about it, you can come to an online community and surround yourself with people of like-minded people because you are the people that you surround yourself with. So if you can't surround yourself with people that have your same interests in the physical world, right? That's where what we're about to do right here, along with keeping you guys, because instead of like having to wait on these AMAs all the time and depend on this stuff for information, we have this really cool initiative that John and I have put our heads together and creating this where we can really just double down on community, double down on information, updating you all, and then, like David said, having fun and just really having a place that is really entertaining. And this is what we have came up with right here. Boom. Titan Talk. Titan Talk is. Look at that. Titan Talk is this is the official logo, thumbnail, whatever you want to call it, for what we're going to do. We're going to try to make it a weekly kind of podcast style thing where we have Titan Talk, where we come together, we distribute updates, news to you guys, so you guys don't have to wait all the time on one AMA a month or bi-weekly or whatever. We have this where you can all come together. We're going to do all these different things, highlight people in the community. We have all these different sections where we have we're going to highlight the funniest memes of the week. We're going to show people, some actual community members of Titano community that are accomplishing really awesome goals, and we'll highlight them whenever that comes about. Drop information for you guys. This is just a place where we can all come together, build this community, and just double down on the community. You guys are going crazy right now, so I'm really glad you guys enjoyed this.
Oh man, I'm extraordinarily excited about it and happy that you guys have put this together. This is fantastic. I'll tell you something else. I have talked to. It's funny. People are always surprised when I say, "Hey, what are you doing right now? Let me call you." You're actually going to call. I'm going to call you. I need to talk about this. You got a great idea. I've heard so many amazing ideas that I would love to share with the community. There's a woman in Australia. I talked about this last time, and I'm going to get back with her, where she reached out to me and said, "David, we're going to have a lot of young millionaires who have no idea what to do with that money." And I come from banking, traditional banking, and I found Titano. She's got decades in traditional banking, and I can help them with ideas on how to best manage their money. I would love to work with you guys to share this with the community. So having something like Titan Talk, where you could bring her on and give some of her wisdom around, how do you manage your money? How do you look at your money management and every other topic? So having this forum where you can bring Titans on themselves who are extraordinarily passionate about not just whatever's happening with them, but also they're concerned for the entire community. It's amazing, as well as all the updates and everything that you're talking about, which is great. People don't have to wait for a weekly update, or for something that might have happened during the middle of the week. You could decide even to do a Titan Talk right in the middle of the week. We need to have one now.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, it's news, reviews, interviews, as you said, David, with luminaries not just from crypto, but different parts of the world, different businesses, different arenas.
Right.
All these things that you see in the Discord, that you see in the Telegram, and that you see on Twitter, that all this amazing stuff happening amongst our 81,000 holders, right? There's the network that we have now, the community that we have is so widespread, and to just have it all out there, just floating around. We just want to bring it together, highlight a few things. I think it's going to be so exciting for people to see who we're now connected with. If you think of this project as being really at the start, it's just about to hit its next step right now, the evolution with V2, with the DEX, with all these utilities coming up. But if you see us all here right now, we are the beginning of this. You know, we are like the founders of this, all of us. We are participants in this early stage startup, as it were. And now we have, with Austin doing these weekly talks, we're going to get a chance to catch up with each other, get to know each other better, wherever you are from in the world. You know, I'm really looking forward to it.
Excellent, man. And just to add one thing to that, and yeah, the diverse community that we have. I mean, you know, we've got videos in 7 languages now. I'm constantly getting people sending me videos going, hey, man, can you post this? And I'm going, dude, I don't even know what language that is, but yeah, I'm going to post it. Yeah, it's great. And, you know, it's a way as well to bring people together even closer. You know, now you've got Titans who are, you know, who are communicating outside of the community. People are going, hey, man, I'm going to, like, you know, the Titan who's building the restaurant, and he's going to put the Titan statue out there, and people are going, I'm going to be your first customer in your restaurant. Where are you? Greece. I'm coming to Greece. Those things are amazing. So this just builds
I don't know if
on
you know
that.
this,
So,
David, but that guy that you're talking about, like we're in constant communication, and I'm literally going to be doing a documentary with him when he achieves that. Like I'm flying out there and documenting the whole thing.
Oh wow! Can we get him on the podcast?
I mean, yeah, we can do. Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. This is a great idea, guys. I'm glad to see you guys are putting that together. And Austin, you are the perfect person to do it.
We should have Austin interview you as well.
Interview
you, David. Interview you.
Put you on the hot seat, David.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'll take it, and maybe I'll even do a burpee.
You'll do a burpee. Just put it, if you want to stay anonymous, just put like a mask on or something, and then we'll just
the mask burpee guy.
Or like, you know how people do like in those documentaries that they're trying to hide the identity, like they'll do like a super bright backdrop,
right? You won't see me doing the burpee. You'll see my silhouette doing the burpee.
Or a shadow. That's good. Your shadow doing it.
Right.
We'll judge your form.
Don't my shadow too hard.
Just a note, guys. If you see, So just speaking to the devs, they're just sending me messages. BSC is currently just a bit clogged up. They're slowing down the process, but we've started to distribute. So some of you should already see the tokens, and hopefully it should all be done in 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Again, that all depends on the blockchain and how clogged the network is.
Oh, yes. If you guys go to here, I'm going to check the chat right now. I'm dropping the address once again. Okay. Go to Binance, bscscan.com. Okay. And you can actually start to see this. It's happening.
Perfect.
It's happening.
Perfect. And of course, just a reminder, you won't be able to buy or sell until everyone's been distributed their tokens.
Right.
Nice. All right. Well, I think we got a ton of questions answered, a lot of concerns, and we can now, anybody, I challenge all 1,000 of you watching right now, if you see anybody in the Discords, asking these common questions, shoot them to this AMA. And then on my personal YouTube channel in the next few days, man, it's been busy. I'm moving. I'm going to try to get an AMA recap of all this on my channel and as soon as I can. All right. Because I'm in the process of getting out of this studio, moving to another studio 4 hours away. But yeah, I'll try to get that. But is there anything else that, John, David, that you guys wanted to touch on in this AMA?
David.
John. Okay. I'll just say, as I always say, thank you guys for your patience, your support, your belief. and your participation. All four are requirements for anything that wants the chance to succeed. It is an honor, it is a privilege that we don't take for granted. And so this is why you hear me say it constantly, and you see the level of respect that we all have for you guys. If you were not here, this would not be here. And we're clear about that. So that should never ever not go, or should never ever go unsaid. Um, this is the beginning of the second stage of Titano. As John was saying, the first stage was the inflation, the distribution stage, and also us figuring out what is this? What is this project? What have we got here? It's a completely new protocol and a new approach to the DeFi space. As we mentioned, it's proven to be substantial. I don't know of any other protocol that's had as many forks as Titano. I'm not really sure what that means, other than there's a lot of attention being paid to it. And as John said earlier, who would you bet on to build out something other than the people that built it? Who knows it better? Who understands it better? We are more than excited about what's happening now, moving to this next stage where we do things like fight inflation and build revenue and go into new markets and bring in, new titans. As John was saying, we don't have to continually go over the same ground or fight with the same people for the same users. We can go into new markets. So this is the exciting stage for us, and adding additional things like Titan Talk and building out this charity and these partnerships that you guys are going to see coming. We're really, really excited about what the future holds for Titanic. And on a final note, I'd like to say that I'm glad that John talked about the NFTs, because you guys know that I was under the threat of death if I did. So now I won't get those 60 questions like, what NFT, what NFT, what NFT? Tell me about the NFT. And, John, you are a lifesaver, my friend. Anyway, guys, thank you for all your time. And great things ahead for Titano. John, please.
Thanks, David. Amazing close off there. I'd just like to say this. I'm looking at the token holders go up now on BSC scan, so it's happening. It's incredible to see. This is a real momentous occasion. Don't forget that it's not it's not just a migration. There's a migration for a reason. This is now a CertiK audited, approved. We're going to be on CertiK Skynet, monitored 24/7. For those that were concerned, no, we are fully CertiK approved. That's hard to do, guys. It's not faultless. It's not, there are always people say, oh, well, CertiK made mistakes. Yes, of course, but you've been approved by the best. So there's something to be said for that. And we are now, all those concerns that people addressed a few months ago, I just want you to remember that. I want everyone to remember that, the devs took it on board and they addressed them all. So all those concerns, have been addressed, and we should all feel safer today, and also happier in the knowledge that not only did they address those concerns, but the utilities that are coming, they're going to bolster and support the liquidity and the revenue that we're putting in there.
That's right. That's good. We didn't even touch on that, Austin. John just brought up a good point. With
it's a big deal, right? Our token is now CertiK audited, incredibly secure. All the concerns that people had are gone. Those concerns are gone. And on top of all that, the bottom line is, I just want people to remember 6 months. We're almost at 6 months. That isn't a mistake. That isn't an accident. That doesn't happen easily. We're at 6 months and we're going to grow. So yeah, keep looking, because we're gonna do some fantastic stuff.
Well, and it's so funny that you said that about all the concerns being gone, because another thing that you guys don't understand, or maybe you do, it just hasn't been brought up, is a lot of these forks, right? A lot of the fork projects that within their white lists, they included all this stuff about Titano, right? Saying, we're not going to do this. We don't do that. We just basically made their white papers irrelevant in a way, because of all the concerns that they were saying that they're fixing. We've now alleviated with the V2 contracts. So that's cool just to really think about.
Right. Yep.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Austin, thank you as always. You are a gentleman and a class act to the end, and you are very, very much appreciated, which I know you know, but it even with that, it needs to constantly be said, right? You can't take people for granted, and
I
you are
appreciate
not
that.
taken for granted. Yeah, man, and you do an amazing job, and you jump in, like I said earlier, without even being asked. You immediately, oh, I'll do it. It's done already. And some of the things you get done before we even think about them. You know what we need? I did that yesterday. Oh, okay, thank you. So I just don't want that to be put aside. Just like when I talk about the Titans, you're appreciated. Thank you for this, and you roll with it no matter how it rolls. Nope, I can do it. And those are the difference makers in these projects. So I also want to give another shout out, as I always do, to my buddy John, my good friend. John is like family to me, and he is, as I said before, John brought me into this space, and he has been a mentor and um, just a voice of reason with regard to a lot of things. When we talked about the marketing as an example, his steady hand and approach to it. And then, like I said, I saw it really pay off when we had that bot attack, and all of a sudden we had all these scared people, and the Titans were going, "Hey, everybody, calm down. Just don't click your DM." But we had all these new people who, just came running in. Hey, we heard there's something going on here. We don't have any idea what. We don't know. We don't care, but we're here. And it's important to note that that's directly related to how we position ourselves in the marketplace. We've got to determine that, right? We've got to be the ones that tell the story about what Titano is, right? So we can take on all of these, hey, I heard this and I heard that and I heard the other thing, but it's got to be us ultimately, because we're the ones that are responsible. So yeah, we may not move down every single road, but a lot of those roads are dead ends. And you guys will see when you post a lot of things and suggestions. I won't just say or no. I'll give you a reason why we may not be running down that road. But there are a lot of roads we're running down. I mean, you can see with the use cases that are coming out, and you'll see further use cases that come out in these partnerships and what happens with the DEX. Exciting. All right, I can talk forever, as you guys know. Appreciate all you. Appreciate your time, John, Austin. Thank you, guys. Titans, you're the most amazing, not just community in DeFi, the most amazing community I've ever been a part of. I am proud to be here. I saw one comment up there, and they were asking about Jordan Belfort. And I put the post in there that in Discord, and I think maybe in TG, where they were asking, did Jordan Belfort say something about Titano? And yeah, it when I saw that, I was, I mean, he's a Titan, and he's a proud Titan. My gosh, the Wolf of Wall Street is a Titan.
Right? That was so cool. I remember seeing people tag me in it on Twitter, and I was like, this is totally fake. What the heck? And I clicked on it. It was like, yeah, he actually was like, he was like, I think he was like, 10x my money or something like that. He said like some type of multiple, and I was like, oh my God, this is hilarious.
Right. Yeah, so these are good times. Anyway, guys, thank you both. And any other questions?
Before you go, David, let me just say, I think everyone said it, and thank you for the kind comments. And I'm just going to return that because I don't get a chance normally because you're talking. But I would like to say, everyone loves you, David, and thank you so much. You are the de facto spokesman for this project now, and couldn't be a better person out there to do this, because what you don't know, is David has so much time for everyone in the community. He has time for the people that have the smallest problems. Sometimes they come and they just get shirked by the community members for no reason. It's just small things, but David always has time for everyone. He's just that kind of guy. And it doesn't matter if they're the tiniest minnow in Titano or people like Jordan Belfort. David has a way with people, and this is why we are going to have some amazing partners on board. You're going to see David introduces me to people on a daily basis, and they all want to be a part of Titano. And the reason is David. David brings them in. He talks to them. He convinces them, and it's not that they need convincing, but when they talk to him, they realize, as you can hear, he's a genuine guy. He wants this to work, and yeah, so much respect for you, David. Thank you so much for being a part of this as well.
Oh man,
Thank you, guys. I look forward to the first podcast tomorrow, Austin. I'm very excited.
It's tomorrow?
Yep. It's tomorrow.
Oh man.
11
been
a.m.
working.
Eastern Standard Time.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you, John, for the kind words. Thank you, Austin. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you all for your great questions, and I will see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye.